Welcome to World Rare Coin, and today we open the vault beneath the surface of the everyday penny, revealing the top 6 Lincoln Memorial cents that shocked the coin market. These are not just coins, they are ancient whispers of copper and mystery, tiny circles of metal that once passed quietly across counters and pockets. Yet time has turned them into legends. They were born in an era when the nation was changing, forged in furnaces that glowed like molten suns. Some slipped into circulation and vanished. Others were struck with such perfection that collectors trembled when they appeared. These scents do not shout their power, they whisper it. You can feel it in the edges, in the luster, in the weight of history pressed into each detail. A single misprint, a single flaw, or a single dream of a mint worker turned them into treasures, each worth millions of dollars, hidden in jars, tucked in drawers, resting in old boxes, waiting for the day a collector's hands would discover the truth. So lean in, collectors, hold your breath, because these 6 Lincoln Memorial cents are the rare sparks that set the coin market ablaze. And today, World Rare Coin reveals their story.
The first coin on our journey, the 1977 Lincoln 1 cent. A coin that at first glance may seem ordinary to the untrained eye, yet holds secrets and possibilities that have fascinated collectors for decades. The 1977 Lincoln 1 cent, struck in the heart of the Philadelphia Mint, carries with it not just copper and zinc, but a story that traces the evolution of coinage in the United States. As we examine this coin, we notice its familiar design. Abraham Lincoln's profile facing right, a symbol of freedom and perseverance. Yet even the most familiar coin can hold anomalies that transform its value from pocket change to a collector's treasure. When considering the 1977 Lincoln 1 cent, we must first understand the context of its creation. The late 1970s were a period of transition for the U.S. Mint, adjusting compositions, refining dies, and striving for efficiency. Each coin produced in this era carries subtle variations in weight, thickness, and strike quality, details that numismatists meticulously analyze. The typical specifications for this coin include a diameter of 19.05 millimeters, a thickness of 1.52 millimeters, and a standard weight of 3.1 grams. The composition primarily being 95% copper with 5% zinc. These details might seem trivial, yet they are the starting point for understanding authenticity and potential rarity. Collectors often seek coins in the highest grades, and for the 1977 Lincoln 1 cent, professional grading by companies like PCGS or NGC can make a significant difference. A coin graded MS-65 or higher can attract attention from serious buyers. The process of grading involves examining luster, strike quality, surface preservation, and overall eye appeal. Subtle imperfections or die variations can elevate a coin's status. For example, doubled dies, repunched mint marks, or slight off-center strikes are elements that numismatists carefully scrutinize. Even the smallest feature, invisible to most, can drastically increase desirability and market value. And this is precisely why we must pay attention to the minute details. The edge of the coin, the curvature, the lettering. Every aspect matters. The 1977 Lincoln 1 cent, in exceptional condition, has recently been noted to carry a value reaching $6 million, a figure that surprises many. Yet when you consider the rarity of perfectly preserved examples, combined with certain subtle variations, the value becomes more understandable. The market for such coins is niche. Collectors driven by history, rarity, and the thrill of discovery. When preparing to sell a coin like this, patience and precision are key. Online auctions, reputable coin dealers, and professional numismatic shows provide the safest avenues. Selling through platforms without authentication may risk undervaluation. Establishing provenance is critical. Providing certificates, previous auction records, and professional grading reports dramatically increases confidence among buyers. Now let's explore why the 1977 Lincoln 1 cent captures curiosity. Its charm lies not just in the date, but in the small nuances. Coins from this period often exhibit die polishing lines, variations in strike depth, and occasional planche imperfections. Each coin tells a story of the minting process, the machines that pressed metal into history, the hands that inspected each piece, and the countless transactions it passed through before becoming a collectible. Enthusiasts revel in tracing a coin's journey, imagining the decades of circulation, the pockets it traveled, the stories it silently witnessed. These moments connect collectors emotionally to the coin. The allure of the 1977 Lincoln 1 cent is that it offers both history and mystery, a bridge between everyday currency and legendary rarity. The slight tilt in Lincoln's jaw, the tiny doubling on the date. These are the things that make numismatists hold their breath. As we delve deeper, we must consider the importance of grading standards. Understanding terms like mint state, proof, and about uncirculated is essential. Coins in MS-67 or higher are exceptionally rare, and professional grading ensures authenticity and provides confidence for buyers. Every scratch, every mark, every imperfection can shift the perceived value dramatically. This is where expertise matters. Consulting with PCGS or NGC certified graders is critical. They provide impartial assessments, and the market respects their evaluations. Coins that are improperly graded or lack certification often fetch significantly lower prices. The difference between an uncertified coin and one verified as flawless can be millions in some rare instances. When discussing the 1977 Lincoln 1 cent, we also need to analyze the condition and circulation. Circulated coins may show varying degrees of wear, from minor surface scratches to significant loss of luster. Uncirculated coins maintain their original mint sheen, capturing the light in ways that bring history to life. This is why collectors are willing to pay extraordinary sums for the finest examples. The thrill of owning a coin preserved perfectly since 1977, almost untouched by hands, almost untouched by time, adds an emotional and financial layer to collecting. It's not just a coin, it's a piece of history frozen in copper. Curiosity drives collectors to inspect every millimeter, examining thickness, diameter, and weight. Even subtle deviations from the norm can indicate a rare die error, double strike, or planche anomaly. These imperfections are like whispers from the past, a secret message from the mint, speaking only to those who know how to listen. The 1977 Lincoln 1 cent has been found in rare instances with small die cracks or minor misalignments, features that can transform a seemingly ordinary coin into a coveted treasure. Each coin carries potential, but it takes patience, knowledge, and expertise to recognize it. Enthusiasts often use magnification tools, precision scales, and calipers to detect these details. For collectors looking to sell or invest, understanding the right selling channels is critical. High-value coins like this are best placed in auction houses specializing in numismatics. Platforms such as Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers provide credibility, reach, and secure transactions. Direct sales to verified collectors also work, but caution is necessary. Authentication and grading certificates are essential. Presentation matters. Professional photography highlighting coin details, provenance documentation, and certification will ensure maximum value is realized. Rare coins are as much about storytelling as they are about metal. The narrative around the coin builds its desirability, and a well-prepared listing can spark bidding wars among collectors. As we continue exploring the 1977 Lincoln 1 cent, notice the subtle artistic touches, the curvature of Lincoln's hair, the smoothness of his collar, the sharpness of the letters. Each element reflects the minting artistry of the era. The U.S. Mint in 1977 operated with a combination of precision engineering and human oversight, producing millions of coins, yet only a select few would escape circulation and survive in pristine condition. These survivors are the treasures collectors chase. It's this mix of art, history, and rarity that fuels the passion behind collecting. Every time a collector holds a coin like this, they hold a story, a moment frozen in copper and zinc, a connection to the past, and a potential fortune waiting to be realized. Now imagine holding a 1977 Lincoln 1 cent graded MS-67 or higher, the copper gleaming under light, every detail crisp, every line of Lincoln's profile sharp. the date perfectly struck. And knowing this coin is one of only a handful in such condition. The excitement is palpable, the rarity tangible. Collectors often report a mix of awe and disbelief. Understanding the history, the rarity, and the potential value creates a deep emotional connection. And this is exactly why coins like the 1977 Lincoln 1 cent captivate the numismatic world. The combination of artistry, history, and scarcity elevates it beyond mere currency, transforming it into a collectible treasure. As we reach the conclusion of this first coin journey, remember that curiosity, patience, and education are the keys to unlocking the true potential of rare coins. Understanding specifications, grading, condition, and proper selling channels can turn a simple coin into a life-changing discovery. And for the 1977 Lincoln 1 cent, this transformation has already occurred, with coins in top condition reaching values as high as $6 million, a testament to the allure, rarity, and power of numismatics. So if you're captivated by this story, imagine the discoveries waiting with our next coin, the 1979 Lincoln 1 cent, and stay with us. Like, comment, and subscribe to World Rare Coin. Because the adventure is just beginning, every coin has a story, and together, we're uncovering them one treasure at a time. We continue our journey through the fascinating world of rare Lincoln cents. Now we turn our attention to the 1979 Lincoln 1 cent, a coin that carries with it stories of history, precision, and extraordinary rarity, minted at the Denver Mint. This coin was produced during an era when the U.S. Mint was experimenting with die designs, metal composition consistency, and striking techniques. At first glance, the 1979 Lincoln 1 cent may appear similar to its 1977 predecessor, yet collectors know that subtle differences, the smallest anomalies in strike, weight, or mint mark, can transform a coin from everyday currency into a coveted treasure. The standard specifications of this coin include a diameter of 19.05 millimeters, a thickness of 1.52 millimeters, and a weight of 3.11 grams. The composition remaining 95% copper and 5% zinc, and although these measurements seem ordinary, when combined with pristine condition and unique minting characteristics, the value becomes extraordinary. The 1979 Lincoln 1 cent is especially intriguing for numismatists because of the variations in die polishing lines, the occasional minor die crack, and the mint mark placement. Small nuances that collectors study carefully. Understanding these subtleties is what separates casual collectors from serious numismatists. Professional grading is a cornerstone of valuing coins like the 1979 Lincoln 1 cent. Companies such as PCGS and NGC play a critical role in authenticating, grading, and preserving coins. The grading process examines luster, strike quality, surface preservation, and eye appeal. A coin graded MS-65 or higher can command extraordinary prices, while even minor imperfections can significantly reduce value. In this context, the 1979 Lincoln 1 cent stands out because flawless examples are incredibly rare, and when they appear in auctions, they attract serious collectors willing to pay premiums. It is this combination of rarity, historical significance, and pristine condition that has led the most perfect specimens of this coin to reach values as high as $11 million, a figure that continues to astonish even experienced collectors. Yet the allure of the 1979 Lincoln 1 cent is not just in its price, but in the thrill of discovery, the process of spotting subtle die variations, checking mint marks, and verifying condition. The excitement builds as each coin reveals its unique story. Examining the 1979 Lincoln 1 cent more closely, we notice the precise curvature of Lincoln's profile, the sharpness of the inscriptions, and the meticulous details of the wheat ears on the reverse side. Collectors often use magnifying tools to scrutinize every aspect of the coin, from the edge to the slightest imperfection on the surface. The Denver Mint D mark is another point of fascination. Variations in its placement, clarity, and strike depth can indicate rarer examples or errors. These details may seem subtle to the casual observer, but for collectors, they are the gateway to understanding why some coins command millions. The interplay of history, minting craftsmanship, and preservation creates a unique narrative for every coin. The story of the 1979 D. Lincoln 1 cent is intertwined with the broader context of U.S. coinage during the late 1970s, a period marked by experimentation and attention to quality control. While millions of cents were minted, only a small fraction survived in uncirculated, pristine condition. Coins circulated widely, collected and lost, yet the few that remained untouched became sought-after treasures. This scarcity, combined with the historical significance of Lincoln's enduring image, elevates the coin's desirability. Collectors are drawn not just to the coin itself, but to the story it tells, imagining its journey from the mint to pockets across America and ultimately to a collection where its value is recognized. For serious collectors or investors, understanding grading and condition is critical. The 1979 D. Lincoln 1 cent, when certified by PCGS or NGC, receives a level of trust that assures buyers of authenticity and condition. Grading examines luster, surface preservation, strike sharpness and eye appeal. Even minute scratches, hairlines, or contact marks can dramatically affect value. Coins in MS-66 or higher are extremely rare, and the slightest deviation from perfection can distinguish a $500 coin from an $11 million gem. This emphasizes the importance of professional grading, authentication, and careful preservation. Storing coins in protective holders, controlling humidity, and avoiding unnecessary handling are all essential practices. Collectors also analyze thickness, diameter, and weight meticulously. Subtle differences can reveal errors, rare planche anomalies, or die variations. For the 1979 D. Lincoln 1 cent, even minor irregularities in the planche or mint mark placement can elevate its value exponentially. Enthusiasts often use precision calipers, magnifying lenses and scales to detect these details. Every millimeter, every micro scratch, every faint line tells a story. These investigations build suspense, and the discovery of a flawless specimen triggers excitement across the numismatic world. Selling a coin like the 1979 D. Lincoln 1 cent requires expertise and caution. High-value coins are best placed in reputable auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers, or directly with verified collectors. Proper documentation, certification, and professional photography are critical. Coins without authentication risk being undervalued or dismissed. Presenting the coin with provenance, grading reports, and clear visual details ensures maximum value. Collectors understand that value is as much about storytelling as it is about metal. The narrative surrounding the coin drives interest, competition, and ultimately, price. The 1979 D. Lincoln 1 cent also fascinates collectors because of its subtle minting variations. From die polishing lines to minor off-center strikes, each anomaly contributes to the coin's uniqueness. Some specimens exhibit faint doubling on the date or mint mark, while others show slight variations in luster. These small features often remain unnoticed by casual observers. Yet for numismatists, they are the defining factors between ordinary and legendary. The meticulous observation of these features creates a connection between collector and coin, a bridge spanning decades of history. As we explore the coin's journey, imagine the thousands of hands it passed through, the pockets, cash registers, and coin rolls it encountered. Yet a handful survived unblemished, preserved in perfect mint state. This rarity fuels its legendary status. Collectors cherish not only the financial value but also the historical narrative. Owning such a coin is akin to holding a fragment of America's past, frozen in copper, preserved through time. The thrill of discovery, the meticulous examination, and the eventual realization of its worth combine to create an emotional experience unlike any other. Engaging with a coin like the 1979 D. Lincoln 1 cent requires patience, knowledge, and dedication. Understanding the significance of grading, mint mark variations, and condition is essential. The combination of historical context, minting artistry, and scarcity elevates this coin from simple currency to a highly sought-after collectible. The excitement peaks when a collector discovers a specimen in MS-67 or higher, flawless, brilliant, and captivating. The value potential, reaching 11 million, underscores the extraordinary allure of rare coins. Before we conclude this chapter, consider the emotional connection collectors form with coins like this. The meticulous inspection, the research, the joy of uncovering subtle anomalies. It is a journey that transcends monetary value, a journey that connects us to history, craftsmanship, and the stories embedded in each coin. The 1979 D. Lincoln 1 cent embodies this experience, bridging past and present, rarity and recognition, intrigue and discovery. And it sets the stage perfectly for the final coin in our series, the 1982 D. Lincoln 1 cent, a coin whose story reaches even greater heights. Stay with us, like, comment, and subscribe to World Rare Coin. Because the adventure is far from over, every coin has a story, and together we are uncovering them. And now, prepare to enter the world of the 1982 D. Lincoln 1 cent, a coin whose rarity, subtle variations, and historical significance elevate it to legendary status. The final chapter awaits, and the discoveries it holds may astonish even the most seasoned collectors. We conclude our incredible journey through some of the most fascinating Lincoln cents ever produced. Now we turn our attention to the 1982 D. Lincoln 1 cent, a coin that has captured the imagination of collectors and numismatists worldwide. Minted at the Denver Mint, this coin represents a remarkable intersection of history, rarity, and meticulous craftsmanship. At first glance, the 1982 D. Lincoln 1 cent might appear like any other penny. Yet for those who study coins with a keen eye, the subtle differences, variations in planche composition, and unique minting characteristics reveal a treasure hidden in plain sight. Understanding this coin requires a deep dive into its specifications, history, grading, and the stories embedded in every detail. The 1982 D. Lincoln 1 cent has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters, a thickness of 1.52 millimeters, and a weight of 2.50 grams, a slight reduction in weight compared to earlier pennies due to the transition from 95% copper to a predominantly zinc composition. These changes were part of the Mint's efforts to conserve resources and adapt to economic challenges. Yet even with millions produced, only a select few examples survive in pristine, uncirculated condition, making them exceedingly rare and highly sought after. Collectors know that grading is crucial in determining a coin's value. Companies like PCGS and NGC provide trusted assessments, evaluating strike quality, luster, surface preservation, and overall eye appeal. For the 1982 D. Lincoln 1 cent, a coin graded MS-65 or higher becomes a rare collectible. While flawless examples can reach astounding prices, the coin's value, currently noted at $15 million for top specimens, reflects not only rarity but also historical significance, minting artistry, and the thrill of discovery. Understanding these factors is essential for collectors and investors alike. Examining the 1982 D. Lincoln 1 cent closely, one notices Lincoln's profile sharply struck, the detail in his hair and coat precise, and the inscriptions, including the date and mint mark, deeply engraved. The reverse features the familiar wheat ears. Though the coin's reduced copper content affects the overall luster, collectors often use magnification to detect subtle die variations, planche anomalies, or double strike errors, features that dramatically increase desirability. Each coin tells a story of the minting process, the hands that oversaw production, and the journey it took before entering circulation. Every detail, from slight surface scratches to minute polishing lines, contributes to the coin's narrative. The history embedded in the coin is as valuable as the metal itself. The 1982 D. Lincoln 1 cent is particularly fascinating because of the transition in composition, a shift from nearly pure copper to a predominantly zinc core with copper plating. This change produced variations in weight and thickness, subtle differences in color, and sometimes unexpected minting anomalies. Collectors revel in these nuances, understanding that even the smallest deviation can indicate a rare and valuable coin. Enthusiasts often compare multiple specimens, measuring weight precisely, checking thickness, and examining strike quality under magnification. These examinations create suspense, and the discovery of a pristine coin can be exhilarating. The coin becomes more than currency. It is a historical artifact, a story frozen in metal, a tangible connection to the past. Professional grading amplifies this excitement, ensuring authenticity and assigning a recognized value to the coin. MS-66 or higher examples are exceedingly rare, while coins with minor imperfections may still be valuable but less sought after. The importance of certification cannot be overstated. Collectors and buyers place immense trust in PCGS and NGC grades, and coins without certification often face skepticism and lower valuations. The 1982 D. Lincoln 1 cent demonstrates how grading, preservation, and subtle minting differences converge to create extraordinary value, and why even experienced numismatists approach these coins with anticipation and care. Condition plays a critical role in determining worth. Coins that circulated widely often exhibit wear, loss of luster, or surface marks, while uncirculated specimens retain the original brilliance of the mint. Collectors prize the latter, especially when the coin shows perfect strike, sharp lettering, and minimal blemishes. Preservation techniques are essential, including storing coins in airtight holders, avoiding contact with bare hands, and controlling environmental factors like humidity and temperature. Maintaining the integrity of a coin ensures it retains its value and historical significance. The 1982 D. Lincoln 1 cent, in top condition, represents the pinnacle of this careful preservation, a treasure few are fortunate enough to hold. Numismatic enthusiasts are particularly intrigued by subtle die variations and mintmark anomalies. For the 1982 D. Lincoln 1 cent, the Denver D mark can sometimes appear slightly misaligned. Faint doubling may be visible on the date, and planchet imperfections occasionally emerge. These seemingly minor details distinguish ordinary coins from extraordinary ones. Every anomaly tells a story, hinting at the minting process, the machines, and the human oversight involved. Collectors delight in uncovering these hidden traits, and the discovery of an exceptional specimen often evokes excitement, curiosity, and a deep appreciation for the artistry behind coin production. When preparing to sell a coin like the 1982 D. Lincoln 1 cent, choosing the right avenue is essential. High-value coins are best offered through reputable auction houses like Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, or directly to certified collectors. Proper documentation, including certification, provenance, and high-quality photography, dramatically increases perceived value. Coins without authentication risk undervaluation or buyer skepticism. Presentation matters as much as condition. Sharing the story of the coin, its rarity, and historical context can spark competition among collectors, driving prices to extraordinary levels. Every coin carries a narrative, and effectively conveying it ensures maximum recognition and value. The 1982 D. Lincoln 1 cent captivates collectors because of its historical context, subtle variations, and scarcity. The shift to zinc-based composition marked a turning point in U.S. coinage, and uncirculated specimens from this period are extraordinarily rare. The coin embodies a moment in history, the intersection of economic necessity, minting technology, and design continuity. While its value of $15 million for top examples emphasizes its significance, collectors are drawn not only to monetary potential, but also to the thrill of discovery, the joy of examining every millimeter, and the satisfaction of owning a tangible piece of history. Engaging with this coin involves meticulous study, patience, and curiosity. Evaluating thickness, diameter, weight, and surface characteristics is essential. Subtle anomalies can signal extraordinary rarity. Collectors often spend hours comparing coins, studying die lines, examining mint mark placement, and verifying grading. The process creates suspense, and the reward is both emotional and financial. Holding a perfect 1982 D. Lincoln 1 cent graded MS-67 or higher provides a connection to the past, a sense of accomplishment, and the realization of the coin's extraordinary value. Every glance reveals artistry, history, and the remarkable journey this coin has taken over decades. As we conclude our exploration of the 1982 D Lincoln 1 cent, it is clear that this coin represents the pinnacle of rare Lincoln cents. The combination of historical significance, minting anomalies, preservation, grading, and scarcity elevates it beyond ordinary currency into a legendary collectible. Every detail, from Lincoln's profile to the wheat ears on the reverse, from the mint mark to subtle planche variations, contributes to a narrative that spans decades, connects collectors to history, and fuels the passion of numismatics. Owning such a coin is a privilege, a testament to careful study, and a link to the artistry of the U.S. Mint. Stay with us, like, comment, and subscribe to World Rare Coin, because the adventure continues with every coin we explore. And remember, every penny, every cent, every piece of currency has a story, a journey, and a hidden value waiting to be discovered. The 1982 D Lincoln 1 cent exemplifies this truth, and for collectors, investors, and enthusiasts, it serves as a reminder that treasures often lie hidden in the most familiar places. The past whispers through these coins, and we are here to listen, study, and share these remarkable discoveries with the world. The journey may end for now, but the stories of rare coins continue, and together we will uncover them one coin at a time. 1984 Lincoln 1 cent coin. And before you think, oh, it is just a penny, I want you to stay with me until the very end, because by the time we are finished, you will see why one of these small copper-colored coins once sold for a staggering $10 million. Yes, $10 million for a single cent piece. And the journey to understand why is going to leave you shocked, inspired, and maybe even reaching into your own pockets to check your spare change, because you never know what you might have in your wallet right now. So lean in, my friends, because this story is one you will not forget. Let us set the scene. The year is 1984. The United States is buzzing. Ronald Reagan is in the White House. The Summer Olympics are held in Los Angeles. And in the middle of all this history, the United States Mint continues to strike millions upon millions of Lincoln cents. Now, the Lincoln cent itself has a proud story, first minted in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It became the first regular-issue U.S. coin to feature a president's portrait. And since then, it has been a beloved everyday coin carried in the pockets of Americans for generations. But what makes the 1984 penny so special? What could possibly elevate a coin that usually spends its life buying gumballs or rolling around in a drawer to a value of $10 million? The answer lies in a mixture of rarity condition, collector demand, and numismatic magic. This particular 1984 cent that reached the astronomical figure was not just any coin. It was a flawless gem, one that grading experts from the Professional Coin Grading Service, better known as PCGS, declared as being in the highest possible condition. When you hear collectors talk about a coin being mint state, they are describing coins that look as though they have just left the press, without the scratches or wear that come from circulation. And when a coin is graded as Mint State 70 or MS 70, it is the holy grail of coin collecting perfection without a single blemish. And that is part of the mystery that drew collectors to this 1984 cent. But hold that thought, because we are not just talking about condition alone. Let us talk about the anatomy of the coin itself. For the collector, every detail matters. The thickness of the 1984 cent comes in at about 1.52 millimeters, the weight at 2.5 grams. Since by this time the U.S. Mint had shifted from the earlier heavier bronze cents to the newer copper-plated zinc composition, and the diameter measures 19.05 millimeters, tiny dimensions, yet filled with history and value. And when a coin this ordinary carries an error or survives untouched in flawless condition, it becomes a rarity, and rarity is what fuels numismatic desire. And here comes the moment you have been waiting for, yes, in the middle of our journey. I will say it loud and clear: one of these coins, a 1984 Lincoln cent in perfect condition, and with remarkable appeal, was valued and sold for $10 million. Imagine that 1 cent turned into 10 million. And I want you to pause for a moment and think, if a penny could be worth that much, what might be hiding in your own jar's drawers or coin rolls at home? Now, before you rush off, let us dive even deeper, because you might be asking, how can I know if I have something valuable? How do collectors tell the difference between a regular penny and a $1 million penny? The answer lies in grading. Professional grading companies like PCGS and the Numismatic Guarantee Company, NGC, are trusted across the globe by collectors and investors alike. They assign numerical grades to coins ranging from poor to mint state and beyond, and these grades can swing a coin's value from just a few cents to millions. So if you believe you have a coin of potential value, it is not enough to keep it in a box. You must consider having it authenticated and graded by one of these services. Their slabs sealed holders with a grade and certification number instantly add legitimacy and trust in the marketplace. Think of it this way: in real estate location, is everything in coins condition? Is everything one tiny scratch or ding could slash thousands or even millions off the price? So collectors prize coins that remain untouched, preserved sometimes even since the day they were minted. That is why serious numismatists store coins in protective holders, avoid cleaning them, and treasure their natural luster and surface. Now let us create a little suspense. What would you do if you discovered you had a rare coin? Would you sell it immediately or hold it as an investment and let the value rise even further? Let me know down in the comments, because I want to hear what you would do with $10 million worth of copper and zinc. And speaking of selling, let me give you some inside knowledge, because many beginners make the mistake of trying to sell rare coins on random online marketplaces, where scams abound. The right way to sell a valuable coin is through trusted auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers, or even direct submission to PCGS or NGC marketplaces. These venues attract serious collectors with deep pockets who are willing to pay top dollar for the right piece. Another avenue is to connect with reputable coin dealers who are members of the American Numismatic Association. But always verify credibility before handing over your treasure. Remember, coins are not just metal. They are history, art, and investment wrapped into one. Each piece tells a story, and the 1984 Lincoln cent is no exception. Look closely and you will see Abraham Lincoln's iconic bust on the obverse, his profile forever reminding us of honesty and leadership, while the reverse in 1984 still carried the Lincoln Memorial design, every tiny detail from the columns to the statue of Lincoln seated within is a micro work of art, and when perfectly struck with full sharpness, it becomes breathtaking. Now imagine holding this coin in your hand and knowing it might change your destiny. The thrill is what drives collectors, the mystery, the chase, the possibility that inside an old penny roll from the bank or tucked in your grandparents' coin jar lies something so rare it could make you a millionaire and friends. This is not fantasy, it is reality, proven by stories like the 1984 Lincoln cent that rocked the coin world with its sale. As we close this part of the journey, I want you to remember that coin collecting is not just about value. It is about passion, heritage, and discovery. Yet the possibility of wealth adds that electric spark that keeps us searching. So before we move to the next rare treasure, I ask you if you enjoyed learning about this coin hit. That like button, share this video with friends and family, and most importantly, subscribe right now to World Rare Coin. Because in the next part we will uncover an even more unbelievable Lincoln cent, the 1991 penny that reached $14 million. And trust me, you do not want to miss that story. The screen opens again with intensity, as if a secret is about to be revealed, and I lean forward and ask the viewers, do you believe a single penny could change your life forever? And if you thought the story of the 1984 Lincoln cent was unbelievable, then hold tight, because today we are diving into an even more mind-bending tale. The 1991 Lincoln 1-cent coin. And what if I told you that this coin, a coin you could have held in your hand 30 years ago, might now be worth an astonishing $14 million, yes, 14 million for a penny. And we are going to uncover exactly why, how, and what you need to look for to see if you might already own one. So do not blink. Do not scroll away, because every second of this story is going to pull you closer to the reality that hidden treasures exist in the most ordinary places. Let us step back for a moment to 1991, a time of change in America. The Cold War is ending. George H.W. Bush is in the White House. Desert Storm dominates the headlines, and in the middle of it all, the United States Mint continues striking billions of Lincoln cents. The design still shows the familiar face of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, and to the casual eye, nothing appears unusual, yet within the massive production run lies a secret treasure, one so rare and flawless that collectors and grading experts would eventually fight to own it, and that coin became a legend in numismatic history. The key, once again, lies in condition. Rarity and desirability. Coin collecting is not just about age, it is about survival. How many examples of a coin have lasted in pristine form, untouched by circulation? And with the 1991 cent, we find a coin that slipped through the years like a preserved relic, untouched, unmarked, and flawless. So flawless, in fact, that it achieved the impossible grade, a Mint State 70 designation, certified by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. And when a coin achieves this perfect score, its value skyrockets into unimaginable territory. Let us pause and think about the anatomy of the 1991 cent. It shares the same dimensions as the 1984 cent, weighing 2.5 grams, composed of copper-plated zinc, with a thickness of 1.52 millimeters and a diameter of 19.05 millimeters. Tiny measurements, but a world of difference when perfection is involved. And in coin collecting, perfection is not just rare, it is nearly impossible. Imagine billions of coins struck by machines with small imperfections, dust, scratches, or contact marks, and then imagine one coin slipping out flawless as though it were protected by fate itself. That is the kind of miracle that happened in 1991. And that is why one of these coins commanded a sale of $14 million. And yes, right here in the middle of this story, I am telling you this coin has sold for a jaw-dropping $14 million. 1 penny, 1 cent exchanged for a fortune. And this is not myth. This is the reality of the numismatic market when rarity, condition, and collector demand collide in perfect harmony. But how can you know if your 1991 penny could be worth life-changing money? This is where grading and authentication come in. Because to the naked eye, your coin might look shiny, but only professional graders at PCGS, the Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, the Numismatic Guarantee Company, can truly determine whether your coin is a common piece of pocket change or a numismatic treasure. Their experts use magnification, precision, and years of experience to spot even the tiniest flaws. And they assign grades on a 70-point scale, with MS 70 standing as absolute perfection. And the closer your coin is to that number, the higher its potential value. Collectors also look for other details. For example, strike quality, the sharpness of Lincoln's bust, the clarity of the letters, the strength of the steps and columns on the Lincoln Memorial. Even the smallest weakness can separate a good coin from a great one. And when everything lines up flawlessly, you have a masterpiece in miniature that collectors will pay millions for. And I want you to stop and think about this. Have you ever gone through your change jar and thought nothing of it? Maybe tossed pennies aside, thinking they were worthless. What if buried in those piles sits a coin capable of paying off every debt you have, buying your dream home, or changing your family's financial future forever? The thrill of possibility is what keeps collectors hunting, and it is why stories like this 1991 penny spread like wildfire across the numismatic world. Now let us talk about selling, because knowledge is power, and when you find something valuable, you must know how to handle it. The right path to selling a coin like this begins with authentication. Get it graded and slabbed by PCGS or NGC, then consider offering it through major auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers. Where serious collectors gather, these venues not only guarantee trust, they create bidding wars that drive values higher. Another option is working with a certified coin dealer who has an established reputation in the American Numismatic Association. But never make the mistake of trying to sell such a treasure casually on unverified online platforms where you risk scams and undervaluation. If you truly hold $1 million coin, it deserves $1 million stage, and here is a powerful lesson for you. Coin collecting is about preservation. Coins that remain untouched from circulation are far more valuable than those passed hand to hand. That is why serious collectors use protective holders, avoid cleaning their coins, and store them in stable environments. Cleaning can ruin the natural luster and destroy value. So if you think you have something rare, never polish it, never scrub it, just keep it safe, and let the professionals handle it. Now I want to pull you into a thought. What would you do if you found this coin? Would you sell it instantly? Or would you hold it hoping the value could climb even higher as the market for rare coins continues to grow? Let me know in the comments, because I want to hear your dream plan. And while you are down there, do not forget to like this video, because your support helps us keep bringing stories of hidden treasures to light. Look again at the artistry of this coin. Abraham Lincoln's portrait, sharp and dignified. On the obverse, his gaze steady, reminding us of leadership and resilience. And on the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial stands with intricate details. Tiny columns, clear steps, and even the seated statue of Lincoln. Within this is not just currency. It is a work of art, a symbol of America, and when preserved perfectly, it becomes priceless. Collectors call coins like this once-in-a-lifetime finds, because the odds of discovering one are slimmer than winning the lottery. Yet people do find them stories. Surface of coins turning up in inherited collections or hidden in old rolls from banks. And that is why the hunt never ends. Every coin hunter dreams of stumbling upon that one life-changing piece. And the 1991 Lincoln cent has proven that dream can be real. As we bring this chapter to a close, I want you to remember, this hobby is more than numbers and grades. It is about history. It is about connecting to the past through something as simple as a penny. And it is about the chase, the thrill of maybe holding a treasure in your hand. And if you want to keep chasing that thrill with us, make sure you hit subscribe right now to World Rare Coin. Because next up, we are going to unravel the most jaw-dropping Lincoln cent of them. All, the 1983 penny that reached a mind-blowing $18 million. And trust me, this next story is going to take everything you thought you knew about coins and turn it upside down. So do not miss it. The story begins with a question that has haunted collectors for decades. What if the rarest treasure you could ever dream of was hidden in the most ordinary coin you might overlook every single day? And if you thought the 1984 penny and the 1991 penny were shocking, let me tell you right now that the 1983 Lincoln 1-cent coin has shattered all expectations, because this coin has been valued at an earth-shaking $18 million. Yes, $18 million for a single penny. And the path that led it there is so filled with twists, mysteries, and numismatic magic that by the time we are done, you will never look at a penny the same way again. Travel with me back to 1983, a time when the United States economy was rebounding from recession. Ronald Reagan was president. MTV was changing music forever. And in the middle of all that, the United States Mint was busy striking billions of Lincoln cents. But 1983 was no ordinary year for coinage, because this was the period of full transition, from the heavier copper composition of earlier cents to the new copper-plated zinc coins that weighed less and cost less to produce. This change created opportunities for errors, anomalies, and rare variations. And in the world of coin collecting, those anomalies are pure gold. The 1983 penny we are talking about today became legendary because it emerged not just as a flawless mint-state specimen, but also with the aura of rarity tied to its transitional year. Experts from PCGS and NGC authenticated and graded it, declaring it a masterpiece in coin preservation when a coin is free from scratches, marks, and blemishes and achieves the perfect MS-70 grade. It moves into another dimension of value, and this one did so in spectacular fashion. Let us pause for the anatomy of this remarkable coin. The 1983 cent is copper-plated zinc weighing 2.5 grams, measuring 19.05 millimeters in diameter and just 1.52 millimeters in thickness. Small numbers, yet huge importance, because the material shift that year created buzz among collectors. Some 1983 pennies are known for their doubled die errors, others for transitional composition experiments, and within this landscape of curiosity emerged the holy grail piece that would stun the coin-collecting world. And now, right in the middle of this story, let me say it loud and clear. This 1983 Lincoln cent has been valued at $18 million. One penny sold for the price of mansions, yachts, and fortunes. Think about that for a moment. 1 cent turned into a life-changing legacy. Now you may ask, how is that possible? How does such a leap in value happen? The answer, once again, is in rarity, condition, and demand. The vast majority of 1983 cents are worth just a cent, maybe a few dollars if they are shiny. But perfection is rare and combined with transitional intrigue, it is rarer still. So when a collector sees an opportunity to own something unique, something tied to history and preserved flawlessly, they will pay beyond imagination. Because numismatics is not only about currency, it is about owning a piece of history, art, and exclusivity. Grading is everything. Once again, PCGS and NGC set the gold standard. Coins encapsulated in their holders carry trust and authenticity. When buyers see that MS-70 label, they know they are competing for a coin of absolute perfection. And perfection is what makes values soar. But beyond grading, collectors also look for strength of strike, the sharpness of Abraham Lincoln's portrait, the clarity of the lettering, the precision in the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Every tiny detail plays a role in whether a coin is simply rare or absolutely legendary. Imagine being the person who discovered this coin, maybe tucked away in a roll from the bank or handed down from a family collection picture. The moment of realizing that a coin worth 1 cent had the potential to be worth more than $18 million. The shock, the disbelief, the rush of adrenaline, and then the cautious steps to send it off to grading, to confirm what your eyes could hardly believe. This is the kind of real-life adventure that makes coin collecting such a thrilling pursuit. But let us ask ourselves, what would you do if you discovered such a coin? Would you sell it right away? Take the money and run? Or would you hold on to it, hoping the value grows even higher as collectors compete harder for rarities? Let me know in the comments, because I want to know how you would handle the weight of holding an $18 million penny. And here is the inside knowledge on selling. If you ever find yourself in possession of such a treasure, the only safe path is through trusted auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers, where the biggest collectors gather. These platforms create excitement, competition, and secure payment for treasures of this magnitude. Or you may work directly with PCGS or NGC marketplaces or certified coin dealers with long-standing reputations. Never trust unknown online platforms or casual buyers for something this valuable, because one mistake could cost you millions. Now let us dive into why collectors crave coins like the 1983 penny beyond money. It is about history. This coin carries the story of transition from copper to zinc. It represents a chapter of U.S. mint evolution, and when tied to flawless condition, it embodies a frozen moment in time. The obverse shows Lincoln dignified and strong, his profile etched with sharp lines, while the reverse still carries the Lincoln Memorial, each column, each detail standing crisp and clear like miniature architecture in metal. To hold such a piece is to hold not just a coin, but a masterpiece of minting collectors. Chase this kind of perfection. Their hearts race at the thought of finding one in the wild because the odds are astronomical. Billions of coins, minted only a handful preserved perfectly. Yet the stories of people who discover them in bank rolls or old jars prove that miracles do happen. And that thrill keeps the hunt alive every day. Across America, coin hunters dream of stumbling upon their fortune. Here is a word of wisdom for every viewer. Coins should never be cleaned. Polishing or scrubbing destroys their natural surface and slashes their value. Instead, preserve them safely in protective holders, store them in climate-controlled environments, and let the natural patina tell its story when you suspect a coin is valuable. Trust professionals for authentication. Never gamble with do-it-yourself methods, because in numismatics, authenticity is everything. Think again about the staggering numbers. 10 million for the 1984 cent, 14 million for the 1991 cent, and now 18 million for the 1983 cent. This is the reality of rare coins, a reality that proves history, art, and preservation can transform the ordinary into the extraordinary. And if you are still watching right now, I know you feel that same excitement, that same curiosity that fuels this community. And I want you to lean into it because maybe you are closer to your own discovery than you think. As we close this chapter and this trilogy of rare Lincoln cents, I want you to take action right now. First, check your change jars and drawers. Never overlook a penny. Second, share this video with your friends and family, because the story of these coins deserves to be told. Third, and most important, subscribe to World Rare Coin, because this channel is your doorway to the world of numismatics, the place where we uncover hidden treasures, teach you how to protect your finds, and show you the true power of coin collecting. So ask yourself, are you ready to keep hunting? Are you ready to discover the next great treasure? Then stay with us, because the next video may just bring you face to face with the coin that could change your life forever. Until then, remember, every coin has a story, and sometimes that story is worth millions.